Thank you, Mr. Chidambaram, for giving us a quick roundup on our neighbors and, of course, a more detailed analysis of the Maoists. The floor will be open for questions now, but I will take the privilege as a moderator to ask the first question. Mr. Chidambaram, you gave us a quick roundup about our neighbors, but I think you missed out the 200-pound gorilla sitting in the room, which is Pakistan. Very little mention of that. You talked about Naxalites abjuring, to use your words, violence before you start talking to them. What about Pakistan? Pakistan does not abjure from inspiring terrorism, supporting terrorism. You've given them 10 dossiers on 26/11. They've dismissed it as literature. Is there a difference in approach? Shouldn't we be taking a tougher stand with Pakistan? Or is this, we talk to them but nothing really happens? What is your view on that? How should we be approaching, and why didn't you look at Pakistan in your talk?
Well, frankly, I deliberately avoided mention of Pakistan because that would require a special session. And you had allotted me only about 15 minutes. On Pakistan, it's our neighbor. We cannot change our neighbor. We can only make an attempt to change our neighbor's behavior towards us. This neighbor has been a very difficult neighbor from 1947. There have been, if you'll pardon the expression, lucid intervals, but it's been a long story of perceived enmity and animosity on the part of India towards Pakistan. It's completely untrue. We have a serious problem with Pakistan revolving around Kashmir. We acknowledge that. But what other problem do we have? And why should we have any other problem? We have said that we can resolve the Kashmir issue through bilateral talks. Instead of limiting our differences to that one issue, Pakistan has now created a whole lot of issues and has backed its approach to India by allowing state and non-state actors to support terrorism in India. It's no secret that every militant organization that is based in Pakistan is supported by the ISI. The Lashkar, the Hizbul Mujahideen, the JUD, Al-Badr, every one of them is supported by the ISI. And every one of them was earlier based in Pakistan, but now they have been able to reach into India, set up modules here, set up cells here, and are able to operate those modules and cells. Now, if it is state policy to ignore the distinction between state and non-state players, if it is state policy to sponsor terrorism, if it is state policy to export terrorism to India, how do we deal with that state? It becomes very difficult to deal with Pakistan, and you can see how difficult it is to deal with it. We have struggled with it in many ways. Nevertheless, we have said, we are willing to talk, but let's talk about items that immediately concern us, and which is terror. We tried to make a beginning with the Foreign Secretary's talk, but nothing came out of it, I'm afraid. But I'm told we are still open to another round of talks between the Foreign Secretaries. It's a difficult neighbor. That neighbor must reinvent itself. And one way to reinvent it, if it can, we wish it will, if it can become a truly democratic country where the real power lies in democratically elected leaders' hands.
Just to follow up, quick answer. Do you think we're too soft with them?
I don't think so. Whether we are soft or whether we are hard is a matter of perception. But let's remember, the two countries are today nuclear powers. War is not an option. If war is not an option, then we must talk when we can, when we think there can be progress. At other times, we have to simply be vigilant and alert. Is war an option with Pakistan? I leave that question with you. In our view, it is not.
What would be our response if there was another 26/11, God forbid?
If, and this is I want to underline if we are able to establish with a reasonable degree of certainty that another attack on India emanated from Pakistani soil, then we will respond swiftly and decisively.
With military action?
I can only say we will respond swiftly and decisively. You can comment on that after we respond swiftly and decisively.